I love you and I cherish our friendship. You are the best. You know what? You are at the right platform and at the right time. You do not miss your roots. In case you're wondering, what am I doing here? You do not miss your root. You are the right place. Okay, I'm your favorite host in the building, Faith in the building, and welcome to Faith Lush Media. I welcome you all, and I will encourage you step put and enjoy the boom. Yeah, the boom, because we got your back. And I know you got our back. So, in this platform, we treat issues, or rather, we provide solution pertaining to relationship, marriage, and lifestyle. Okay, that is the reason why I told you you do not miss your route. In case you are undergoing some emotional breakdown or some challenges in your marriage, relationship, in your lifestyle, and you need the help, this is the right place for you. You are the right platform. Shout out to you. I love you. And I wish to see you more and more in this platform. As I said before, this is a baby channel. We just started. And I tell you, this channel is wonderful. It's amazing. It will blow your mind. It will blow your mind. It will blow your mind. Just stay with us. Give us some time. Just stay put with us and you're gonna enjoy all we have to offer you, okay? We have a lot to offer. And I pray by the grace of God, we will provide every solution to that your question, to that your relationship marriage question. Okay, all right, last week we talked about some causes of divorce. Today we're gonna be looking at causes of toxic relationship, and I will tell you there is no divorce if there is no toxic relationship, and there is something that causes toxicity in our relationship. There's something that brings about unhappiness. There's something that brings about regret in our relationship, in our marriage. So those are the things we'll be treating right ahead. Okay, so I will let you say subscribe, subscribe, and subscribe. Build us, okay? Turn on the notification button to get notified each time I post a new video. Remember, our video comes on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, okay? So come on board and enjoy everything we have. Don't allow that marriage to go down, that relationship to go down before you start looking for solution. This is a solution grab for you, for you, for you. I'm talking to you, not everybody, but to you. I'm talking to you. All right, this is a solution platform. Be with us. Thank you. All right, today we'll be looking at the causes of toxicity in a relationship. What are those things that causes our relationship to be toxic? You hear in our society today, oh, divorce, here and there. And these are the things, these are the keys we do not checkmate. And if we put all these keys into practice with the help of God, I tell you, our home will be blissful. It will be heaven on earth. I know everyone wants his own relationship to be heaven on earth, to be better, best. Okay, that is everybody's dream, and I pray you get that solution. Just follow suit. Okay, don't relent, don't be tired, don't be weary, stop crying. There is a solution. Just follow us and put the solutions into practice. Okay, one of the reasons we witness toxicity in our relationship, why we have toxic relationship, is lack of communication. Yes, lack of communication. What is communication? In a layman's language, communication means talking to one another. Not just talking and listening and reasoning with one another. Because actually, I can't be talking without passing an information to you. I can't be talking and you are not listening. And when you are not listening, you can't grab. You can't know where I'm heading to. So talking to one another, listening to one another, exchanging ideas and putting them into practice, it was make communication relevant in our relationship and marriage. Even in our lifestyles, in our homes. If you don't communicate with me, I don't know what is in your mind. So you have to communicate. Good communication. Don't allow your work to be a barrier to your communication with your spouse, with your partner. It is so important. It is during communication that we exchange ideas, emotion, we express our feelings. There is feelings, there are things that you are suspecting. There are things you need clarification. And if it's not communicated rightly to you, you get it wrong. And you start acting in ignorance. So why do people act in an ignorance? Why do people come up and then lay an allegation to you? It's because we lack communication. We lack communication. Some husband or some spouse, rather, when they come, oh, I'm so tired, I don't have time to communicate. No, it's so wrong. Whether in a distant relationship or in a near relationship, in a marriage, we should make communication our priority. In everything we do before taking any decision, you have to communicate with your partner. You have to let your partner know what you are about doing. And in so doing, it will save a whole lot in our society, in our marriages, in our relationship, in everything in our life. It's so important. Take time to communicate that issue with your spouse. Promise me you will do that. You won't regret it. Sit down, take your time, communicate that issue of concern, that feelings, that idea. Communicate it right into his brain. You need to do that. How do you convince someone if you don't communicate? Yes. How do you do that? How do you want someone to love you more without communicating? How do you want someone to know that you love him, you love her without communicating? You speak, you act. And I tell you, there is no speaking without acting, and there is no acting without speaking. These two things comes together. No one, you can split two of them. I communicate, I act. I can't say I'm communicating without acting. If I love you, I tell you 1,000,000 times that I love you. I won't get tired of that. Anywhere I find myself, anywhere I find myself, I express my feelings. I'll tell people how much I love you. It is called communication. And by so doing, you get the person know what you have for him or her. So take time to communicate with yourself. Enough of all this media coming to media and saying, oh, I'm tired, oh, I'm embarking on divorce, oh, that. It doesn't help any issue. If you go into another marriage or relationship tomorrow and you fail to communicate rightly, I tell you, you will come out. And that will be not your situation. It will not be your story, okay? Then the second one, I come with my daughter. Alright, the second one is constant arguments. Constant arguments. When you want to communicate something to your spouse, please avoid arguments. Argument is not a right key to a successful marriage relationship. It is not. It is called nagging, as a matter of fact. You keep on nagging, and in so doing, you are not communicating. You are not, the person is not getting what you are saying. Rather, the person is being offended. Argument brings offense. It brings a whole lot of things in our relationship that will tarnish that relationship if you don't stop it. If you don't stop it, I said again, if you don't stop it, you must stop arguing. You must stop arguing. Look out for the right time, right place, and right moment, feelings to communicate with your spouse, wherever you want to say. Avoid arguments. Argument brings quarrel. It brings quarrel. There is no argument without quarreling. There is no argument without quarreling. And constant quarreling in your marriage, in your relationship, terminates that relationship, terminates that marriage. And it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign when your neighbors, instead of you settling things amicably, you are allowing your neighbors, your siblings, your friends to come into your affairs. How many times have you intervened into their affairs? I ask you, how many times? How many times have you heard them shouting on top of their voices? How many times? Aren't you ashamed of yourself? Can't you settle out things amicably? Marriage relationship goes with trust. Without trust, you are facing you are bound to face doom. You trust, you love, you have faith. No matter what, you trust. If you see anything that is going wrong, that you want a change in your relationship and in your marriage, please don't argue, don't nag. Look for the better solution to that. Change the hand of love instead of arguing. I tell you, men hate arguing. Men hate quarreling. Okay, for instance, your husband went to work in the morning and he comes back. You are welcoming him with arguments, with quarrel, with nagging. Do you think if you continue in that state that he keeps on coming back? That is not true. Remember, with constant arguments, you are chasing him out of the house. You're chasing him into the hands of side chick. Learn how to communicate with your husband. Learn how not to argue with him. Learn how to, even what he said, even if it is wrong, I will tell you, say yes. And at the end of the day, look for a way to let him know the reason why that is not the right option. Okay? And I believe if you put this into consideration, you're gonna make a great home, a great relationship. I love you. Bye. So one of the causes of toxic relationship is lack of communication. How often do you communicate with your spouse? In a layman's language, what is communication? Communication is speaking out, listening, assimilating, and putting it into action. When I speak, I listen, assimilate, and put it into action. And I tell you, I can be communicating with you without passing an information to you. I can't be communicating with you without you understanding a single thing that I'm saying. So we should be able to communicate in the way our partner will understand our point of view. What is that thing that you want to communicate with your husband? Is it time we pour out our feelings, our ideas? We share ideas, rub mind. We conclude on things to do. Without communicating properly with your spouse, how do you think he will know your challenge? He might guess, or he might not guess right. Remember, it's a guesswork. We should find time to communicate as a spouse, as we are in a relationship, as partners. We must find time. Don't allow your work to be a barrier to your marriage. Don't allow traveling. You always make time for your spouse to communicate with you, to know the right step to take. Always make it a priority to communicate with your spouse. It is during communication you know what your spouse has in mind. It is during communication you know what you are doing right, what you are doing wrong, ideas to be shared, ideas to be brought, and all that. So tell me, when you always come back late at night, when you don't have time to communicate, how do you want that relationship to grow? Of course, relationship is heading to a doom. Yeah. And I believe everybody wants a relationship. And we cannot shut our mouths. Remember, a closed mouth is a closed destiny. We always speak in a relationship. Always speak. Always speak. Always speak. Always speak. Make it a priority. Speak. Communicate. Communicate with your spouse. Communicate. I don't mean shout. Communicate. Look for a conducive time. Environment. The time he is feeling happy to communicate with him. If not, we will always be having toxic relationship and divorce in our marriage. Check it. People that have divorce in their marriage, probably their spouse don't know where they are getting it wrong, where he or she is getting it wrong. Or probably he communicated or she communicated, she speak, not communicating. She actually said her mind, but her spouse, her partner, did not understand the angle she is heading to. And communication without understanding is not a communication. Please, we should always find time, the right atmosphere, right vibes, right energy to communicate our mind, our feelings, that which is holding us, that which we want to change, that which we want to achieve. For that relationship to lead to marriage, you need to communicate. If I say I love you, for instance, I would be tired of communicating it right inside your skull. So you get to know it. 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 You get used to it. There is no action without communicating. And there is no communication without action. These two works in synergy. If you get one without the other, it can't work out. Always find time to communicate with your spouse. And I believe you start that. Don't say, I'm not a talking type. I'm not a talking type. See, communication is not blabbering. It's a time to make your spouse, your partner, understand where you are heading to. Make your opinion known to him. Make your ideas known to him, so that that which you have in mind can be achieved. He's a woman, and we have different ideas, perspective about things. Remember, both of you are raised differently from different backgrounds. The way I take things may not be the way he takes things. The way he sees things, he perceives things, he perceives information might not be the way I do that. And I can only communicate, or I can only achieve my heart desire by letting him know, by communicating effectively. How do you convince someone to do what you want the person to do? convince someone to buy from you? How do you do that if you do not communicate effectively? Effective communication goes a long way in a relationship and marriage. Please, let's not put that aside. Okay? The next one, I go with my daughter. Okay, the next one is constant arguments. Argument is not a communication, please. Please, let's take notes. Argument is just simply nagging. And when you are nagging, you are not communicating. When you are nagging, you are not passing information. Nagging will only bring quarrel and toxicity in a relationship by making the person to grow angry, going out of his way. You understand? To doing some certain nasty thing that he or she is not supposed to do. Please, ladies, let's take notes. Let's look for a perfect way to get our ways, to get things done rather than arguing. Arguing brings a lot of enmity and strife. During arguments, you use nasty words because argument leads to quarrel. It leads to abusive words. So why buying into arguments? Why subscribing to arguments? Why don't you look for a better way to get what you want done? Let's stop arguments. Let's be able to have our ways. Imagine every time you are arguing, bringing external people to your home. Your neighbors can easily count how many times you argue with your spouse, with your partner a day. And you think that relationship, that marriage will last. You argue, you nag. A man goes to work and come back tired. And you are arguing. And you are arguing, nagging. And you think he is happy. Let me tell you, you are simply chasing him into the hands of side chick. And don't be offended when you get that because that is what you are subscribing. Take time and not to argue. Take time and not to argue. Take time to love your spouse. Is there anything you don't like or you don't love about him? Take time. Relationship marriage is based on trust, having faith on one another. If you don't have trust on your spouse and your partner, I tell you, you won't go far. Please, let's take note of those key points. Never to argue in a relationship and always communicating rightly and effective to our spouse and our partner. I believe by so doing, our relationship will lead to marriage, and our marriage will be enjoyable and heaven on earth. Okay? Let's make our home the perfect home we ever dream. Nobody will make that home perfect for you. If you think that Mr. A's home is better than you, go to Mr. A. Let him or her tell you what she's passing through. So it's our own. Let's make it a priority, okay? And love you, I tell you, this channel will blow your mind. We are just progressing. I tell you, we'll get there. We are not there yet. Stay with us by subscribing, and you would not regret ever being with us. You will not regret. I said you will never regret ever being with us. We got your back 100%, and I believe you get our back too. I love you. Come on, your witness time is Faith, your host, in the building. And remember, our videos comes on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Please go there, go to Faith Lush Media, click on Faith Lush, watch, comment, and subscribe. I love you. You are the best. One love, one love. Let's stay together. Be alright. Love you.